Yeah.
Do you want me to record? Okay.
Okay, so give me
Okay.
a sec, and I will do summary as well. Okay, let me do the go live. Okay, 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, now it's live.
Okay. In case someone hears double sound, then just let me know. But yeah, hi. Hey guys, welcome to another office hours. I'm guessing some of you were here with me 2 weeks ago. So glad to see you back as well. And for the people who are here for the first time, I will try to cover some of the topics that we did earlier as well, so that you're not completely off track. I'll do a short and quick replay of what we did last time, and then once you're caught up, we can quickly proceed further as well. Let me share my screen. And yeah, at any point of time, if anyone has any questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll have breaks in between so that we can cover some questions. And also, this session is supposed to go with a more hands-on part as well. So I'll ask you guys if everything is well, you can give me a thumbs up or some emoji so I know you guys are following with me. And yeah, okay. Can everyone see my screen fine?
Yes.
Great. Okay, yeah, I can see the thumbs up. Okay, perfect. We do have some people new, so I'll just do a quick intro of why we chose to pick WebXR or WebAR in this sense. We chose this because it's an open platform to publish. You can share your link of your AR experience with your clients, with your friends, with anyone. It's easy to share. Nobody needs to download anything. Nobody needs to download an app or anything. It can work very easily on all the phones, at least all the latest phones. And it can also work very well on the VR headsets browser as well. So, of course, with AFrame, which is the focus of today, it was sort of built in order to make a web VR experience. But we are going to also look into the foundations of AFrame so that we can use those things to also create a AR experience. And I have some examples here. Some of the very common ones are how you can say augment any object on your wrist, like a watch, or something like an AR filter, which is on your face. Maybe you can use it for marketing purposes, like this top right section where you have, say, a chocolate brand or a cola brand, where you can scan that image and then some sort of experience comes on top of it. So it is highly used in that respect as well. And over here, the top left one, it is sort of an experience maybe to showcase some art or some history lesson or something like that. So it can also be augmented in a real life scale, and it can be augmented on flow and things like that. I will not go into the details of what kind of AR we have, because today I want to cover some more topics of A-frame foundation specifically. So maybe we can come back to this when we are focusing any one or more of these sections of AR. Okay, a quick recap of what we did last time and how the positioning works in A-frame. So for this, what we use is we use our right hand. Let me just double check. Okay, so we use our right hand. So our thumb is the x-axis. Y is the, my index finger is the y-axis, and my middle finger is the z-axis. And what we do with this is, for example, I'm viewing my AR experience here on my phone. Consider your palm facing yourself. So what this means is that on the horizontal part, the x-axis goes, the vertical part is the y-axis, and the part that comes out of the screen towards you, that is the positive z-axis, which means that to view anything as a part of the experience, you need to go towards the negative z-axis. And we'll see this again. We'll do a little bit of how the positioning works, so that we are caught up on where every element could be placed in our experience. And this is how we can just start to do a hands-on. Yeah, we can see a small example here. We can see that, okay, the center of the camera is actually on 0, 0, 0. So X, Y, and Z, all three are 0. So let's start with an easy one. This red box over here, this is X equal to 0. If you see, it's on the center, horizontally, it is center of the screen. So that is X equal to 0. Y equal to 0 is over on the bottom. So this goes on the positive side. So it is say 2.5 or any section a bit upwards. And it is a little behind. All these three cubes are actually of the same size. And you see the red cube to be the smallest one because it's the furthest, because it is on -5. But if you see the blue one, it's a little closer to the screen. And that's why it appears a little bigger. And that is because it's -3. And the green one is -2 because it's still closer to the screen. Yeah, and then you see different values of X over here and different values of Y over here. So if you actually don't move your camera, it stays at 0, 0, 0. And if the value of Z is positive, then we won't be able to see that particular object on the screen, at least initially, unless we move the camera, because it would be behind the camera, right? Can I get like a thumbs up of if the positioning is okay? And then maybe we can go into a little hands-on. Okay, cool. What I would prefer to do is to go on some website like Code Sandbox or maybe Glitch, if you are familiar with that. Let me send you chat. Okay. So if you're using codesandbox.io, they have changed their interface a bit, I guess, in the last couple of days. So you create a new sandbox. You select the basic one of HTML plus CSS. And we can try to create an experience here. Okay. If you have done coding before, if you want to use offline IDE and do it with index.html over there, even that is okay. That's completely up to you.
May
But
I ask you how to, like, what's the code sandbox? Any setup need or any payment, or how can I
no,
access to this? Oh, can you
no.
share with the new
Sorry.
people, like what's the website? Because
Yes.
long time ago I used Glitch. Like, what's the difference between code sandbox.io and Glitch?
It is the same. I can even go to Glitch. I think the way Code Sandbox has many templates and everything, it is sort of just easier for me because I use it for other purposes as well. But AFrame itself uses a lot of its examples that are hosted on Glitch. You can surely use Glitch as well. It is quite similar, where you see the code over here on the left hand side and the actual website rendered on the right hand side. So it is similar. I posted the link again. For Code Sandbox, you will have to log in. I guess for this one as well, but I'm already logged in, so I'm not very sure
Which
if it
one do
works
you
without that.
prefer? For example, like
I
yeah, go ahead.
I prefer Code Sandbox because it has more plugins and more templates to it. But yes, it is. I don't think there's a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Please share the
I can also
code
share.
sandbox. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent the link of Code Sandbox. You can also try glitch.com if you have already used that before. Completely up to you. It should be pretty similar in this respect as well. We will just close some things. Okay. Let me just, okay, I hope this will be more visible. Great. Okay. Do you have at least some setup done on one of the websites so that we can start coding it?
Yeah, we can start coding it.
Okay. If you have something within body, let's just remove it for now. We, especially if you're on Glitch, they have a lot of templating already done. So let's just remove all of that. Right now, we will only start with one file, which is index.html. So we will only concentrate on this. We will remove whatever is within this body tag. So someone who is completely new to HTML and coding, I'll give a quick intro. Everything that is written within any HTML file, especially that the index.html file, you see these things that are written within angular brackets. They are called tags. They are the primitive tags that are provided. All the browsers understand it. So everything that is written within the HTML tag will only be considered. We maintain a language. Something within head is more like, you can understand, they're like options and settings that you want for your website. So we will set what kind of character set you're setting, what kind of devices this will be viewed on, and stuff like that. Something that comes within the title tag is actually what appears up here on the tab names. So for example, if you're on Code Sandbox, you'll see this little icon in the extreme right where it says open in a new tab. So when this website opens in a new tab altogether, you see static template written over here. And that is the same as the title we write here. Nothing to like worry about. We can write anything here and it will just appear there. Also, we make sure that every tag is opened and then it is closed. By opening, it is just surrounded by two angular brackets, and by closing, it is prepended by a backslash. So we make sure that that is done. So this is the head tag, and all these parts are within the head tag. And then whatever we write within the body tag is what will be actually visible on our website. So just something small, we have something called a button tag. So we'll open the button tag, we will close the button tag, and say we write something like click on it. And if you refresh, we see a button which has the click text on it. Just a short intro. Okay. So for AFrame, what we will do is that AFrame is not something that is inbuilt within every browser. So we need to import a script which contains all the functionality of AFrame.js. I will give you the script in the chat. And we all can paste that in the within the head tag like this. So this makes sure that we are taking AFrame, we are taking one of its latest releases. So we know that this script is imported in our project and we get all the functionalities of AFrame. Okay. If you're copy pasting from the chat I sent you, make sure that the codes are also correct. Sometimes it gets messed up. Okay, so now we have this setup. Now to actually start using AFrame, the main thing to use is something called A-C. This is a tag that AFrame provides. So we will open it and we will close it. So everything that is written within A-C is what will be used by AFrame to render the 3D objects or whatever we're trying to achieve here. So we'll open an A scene, close an A scene, and they also provide another primitive called A-box, for example. So we will open and close that, and we will set its position to any particular value we want. So this is a primitive A-box. Position is a property of it, and the way we define it is x value space y value space z value. So suppose we want x to be 0, y equal to 0, and z is say minus 5. So we say we give this, and maybe, okay, you see the arrows here already, which means that AFrame has loaded, and it can also be opened in like a full screen sort of view. So we set its position. Let's also set its color to say something like red. Refresh it. Okay, so we have a red cube, a very basic primitive that we are using, and we set its position at this. If we give it still a lower value of set, if we go to -10, then it will go further away. Yeah. So we can try something like this. They have a box. I think I have some examples here. No. Okay, so they have a box. They have a frame. They have cylinder. They have sphere. You can also set a sphere over here, and you can try the multiple components that they have like this if you want to create some basic scene, right? So position is one of the main ones um, that we learned first. And the next thing we learn is the rotation. And the rotation happens on all the three axes as well, the X, Y, and Z. Let me go back to a box because it is easier to see its rotation. So by default, the rotation is 0, 0, 0. So suppose we go 90 degrees on the x-axis and keep it 0 on the other two. Just bring it a bit further. Okay. Let's not do 90, let's do 45. Okay. So the way this rotation worked is that we know that x-axis is the horizontal one, right? So since it is the horizontal one, and we have a cube that is placed here, so while rotating something on the x-axis, think of it that that object is suspended on a string like this, and so it is rotating in this way. So we see that our box is tilted a bit towards the front, and you can try and experiment with how the rotations are working on different axes, say one by one, or even combining different ones. And yeah, we can also see something like this. And you can see it is sort of rotating now on the X and the Z axis at the same time. Can I see how everyone's doing?
Yeah, feel free to share your questions. I mean, I am kind of like looking at the LinkedIn and trying to see if anybody on LinkedIn has any questions. Right now, we have a couple people watching it now, and also we got
Okay.
a lot of impressions. So if anybody has any questions, I'm monitoring. Feel free to post on the LinkedIn live channel. And for people on Zoom, feel free to post your questions or unmute yourself and jump in and ask questions. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, good on time. Okay. Something interesting that we can also try to sort of understand how everything works. So once you go into the full page view of this, what we can do is that AFrame provides you a shortcut, which is Control Shift and I. Mm, double checking why it is not happening for me. you guys can try Control Shift and I, it should open like, oh, sorry, maybe it's Control Option and I. Oh, sorry, it's Control Option and I. Okay. So yeah, on Code Sandbox or wherever you are, if you open your website on a completely new page so that it's clearly visible, and you select Control Option and I, that will take you to the debug part of this. So you see over here everything that we have added to the scene. You see the scene, you see the box, you see a camera that is added by default by AFrame. And what we can do is that, for example, this box is there. You can see the position, rotation, and all the values here. And you can also try to experiment by clicking and dragging over here to understand how all these things are working. So
May I ask a question? When I was doing it, I didn't see my cube showing, and yeah, maybe I can share my screen. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's fine.
do you have the position? What is the position set?
Let me see if I, I'm learning how to follow up. Give me a
Or if you can
sec.
just paste that section.
Yeah, I can, let me see, script, head, body. Yeah, a box, async. Okay, no, sorry, I just forget to add async. I just directly add box, but I didn't add async, so no worries.
Did you share on
screen? Just to share the run examples.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to put
on LinkedIn. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It will only consider everything that is within AC.
Oh, okay.
Because AC in A box or whatever that is prepended by A dash, all those things are provided by AFrame. So if we don't provide, say, a scene, then the browser tries to understand, okay, do I know the meaning of A box? And it doesn't. So if the browser doesn't know, then it will not render it. It doesn't give an error as such, but the browser won't do anything about it. It will just leave it as it is.
Cool. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. We can do a small exercise of how we can maybe give a custom, like a background color or like a texture to your object. So right now we have all these seen, okay, we can give this color. What we can do instead is that instead of writing color equal to whatever, another way to write it is you set the property material, then you say equal to, and then you, I think it is a color within this as well. Double check. Okay, so this is this is a longer form of writing color equal to red. What we write is material, and then we set a specific color to that material, which is a red. Now, what we want to do is to give this particular entity a custom texture. So you can take any image file that you have, anything like a JPEG or PNG, and we can just drop it over here in the same folder. Let me do that quickly. Okay, so I had a file which I just uploaded over here on the same path. I have named it red-pg.jpg. And what we will do now is that we can remove this particular color. And instead of setting a color, we can say the source is red-pg.jpg. And of course, it works with whatever image you have dropped in there. So write whatever the source name is with the extension. Let's save and refresh. And then it could take a while. If it's a bigger image, it could take a while just to load it, but you can have the texture on the same box or whatever primitive entity you have. So if you have any sort of image on your computer right now, you can just try to drop it in here and then try to use it as a source of this material. So yeah, because obviously we don't want to use the same colors everywhere. We can use textures of wood or say some sky texture or anything as such, as long as it is not a very custom model which has its own textures. When we are using any primitives like this, then this is a good way to use custom textures on it. Okay. Yeah, I am going to go into some more details now. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, anybody has any questions? Go ahead.
We have a thumbs up from Kate. Okay. It's totally fine if you don't want to code right away, but if you're stuck somewhere, then I think this would be a good place to ask any doubts or confirm some things. Okay, can we take this into XR glasses? If it is about the VR headset, then yes, this is made for VR, so it is good with that. As far as AR is concerned, AFrame is still trying to increase its like capability with different headsets and different AR glasses. So I'm not sure where they are for different glasses in that sense, but they do have a pretty good blog, for example, where they keep on telling you that, okay, with this particular version that they have released, they are now supporting this headset, or they're supporting or fixing some issues in another one. So it is sort of something that you have to follow up on, but it should be all good on the website and everywhere. Okay.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So I don't mean to like skip ahead or something, but do you know how would I be able to bring in, like, if we're gonna view this in VR, how can I interact with objects, like maybe VR hands or controllers or something? Like, how would I be able to put that in there? Because it'd be nice to be able to interact with some of the stuff that we're doing.
Yes. With things like controllers, they have some things, and I'm going to get into some basics of certain events right now. But obviously, with more complicated controllers and stuff, I'm sure they have more libraries that could work on top of AFrame so that you can introduce those things. So let me share also. So what they also suggest is that also a lot of people build different components on top of AFrame. So they also suggest to go to this website and just how just how we included this script of just AFrame. If you want to use some other component which maybe some other developer has created, for example, this FPS counter that you want to check or some animation, and I think so this is one for the hands, but I think this will work for VR as well. So once you start using more of these, then you will get more functionality on top of it. So the good thing with AFrame is that it's not that it supports everything right now, right away. Maybe either you have to add some support or you have to add other components which are built on top of it. But this has been going on for so many years. So we have a lot of support from the community who have built on top of AFrame. So I'm sure we can find components which will help you with the controllers.
May I ask you, can you copy and paste I think you copy and paste.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
I did
Thank
this
you.
one.
Let
Yeah.
me pull it up. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
remember. Yeah, I
No
remember
problem.
long time ago. I used Quest 3 and interact with AFrame's stuff. AFrame's website has a lot of interactions, and I kind of opened the website and trying to do it, and I couldn't really do it. And may I ask you, like, because it seems like AFrame is not really up to date, or my wrong cognition. I personally think AFrame is a very amazing tools to learn, like WebXR. It's but when I remember I used Quest 3 or Quest Pro, and I was trying to do some hand interaction on the AFrame website, I couldn't do it. And a few weeks ago, I visit Apple headquarters, and I was trying to do kind of like I don't know whether that's against NDA or not. But anyway, I don't want to share anything that will go against me later. But anyway, it seems like some inputs might not compatible. So may I ask you, like, do you think that WebXR is still the way? Because for example, right now I'm writing a book, and everybody is talking about WebXR will be the next, like, for example, metaverse, anything. Do you see those interactions being up to date? And AFrame, people like it, and it's a best way to do education. But I would say that I don't know about the up-to-date version. Is all the interaction up to date? I try it and I fail like a 2 device, and it's the most advanced so far. So I didn't say any device, so don't sue me, but you know what I'm saying. So so I wanna ask you, like, how's the community support, and anybody still use AFrame or something else? I heard like a lot of like different things, and I just wanna ask you, like, generally, how can people get support? And also a lot of people complain about, for example, like some people, they did some WebXR online, and later on their Wi-Fi bandwidth is not enough, so they just end up doing standalone things. So it's like a very interesting topic that WebXR is the best way to access, and no device required, and it just maybe some support, or Quest 3 support, and also like those types of things. And thank you for sharing us, like the website, and so people who are interested, feel free to poke around.
I think for certain things like performance, especially if the app is quite heavy, we can't really compare a website's performance with a native app's performance. So of course it has its cons in that sense for sure. But I feel that this is still a very good way for someone to start out and still get an idea of how you can build your own XR apps, and maybe start a community like that, or maybe start your company like that, because a lot of B2B products also work with, say, marketing and like smaller games or things like that. So I think a lot of projects are also very well done in that sense, but of course they cannot be very extensive as well, because you can only achieve those with better graphics and better models and everything, which have good performance within native apps. So maybe web will get there, but not yet. It will take some time, and it will take some time for AFrame specifically also to catch up to the new gadgets that are coming in. So I think all we can do is just make sure that we are up to date as to how they are doing. And they do have a Slack channel, which I think they are quite active on, in case anybody has any questions, or if something breaks after a version update or something like that. I've seen they are quite active on that as well.
Do you have a time frame for when the graphics are going to be better, to make sure that we're able to develop, like, how they advertise XR to be?
I don't think so, but just how every browser also started supporting WebXR, and that took some time. So obviously, every browser took some time to get here. So now it will take some more time to get better and better. And if they'll see there's enough support and need from the community, then even they will get a push to sort of speed it up. But we see a lot of games which are, say, even not specifically AFrame, but which are like browser-based games, which are quite extensive and doing very well. So obviously, web is getting better. There are different things like Unity also now exporting into WebGL formats because they know that web-based components and projects are going to be more scalable and widespread in that sense. So yeah, I don't think I have a timeline, but it should get there sometime.
Awesome. So I have a very, very basic question. So let's go right back into basics. I'm completely new to XR. I've
Okay.
been hearing about it since VR got launched, and I saw VR, AR, and XR happening. But when it comes to XR, I'm working on a kids education platform.
Okay.
I'm already launched on Web 2, and I want to transition a lot of that into Web 3 and extended reality or mixed reality to be more precise.
Yeah.
So how would I go about developing for XR from the beginning? Let's say I want to get a co-founder because I'm not technical myself. I do everything business and marketing. So so if I wanted to get my co-founder to develop something for extended reality, what would he have to know? Like I see you typing on HTML. Like what
Yes.
languages would he have to know
In
and so on?
Web3.
Yes.
I'm not well versed with Web3 technologies in that sense from a developer's point of view. Dominic, do you have any idea?
I would highly recommend you learn everything on your own first, because I personally think, I mean, I am a kind of like a solo founder. I've been doing those, and I can tell you my background is the same. I'm not a technical person, but the best way to learn is to teach. So I start learning Unity by, I buy a book, and it's like a very basic book back in 2017. And I start kind of like self-taught. And after I learn one chapter, I kind of contribute, create a YouTube channel and teach back. And the reason why I bring up this is that a lot of times non-technical founders, sometimes it's so hard to find a technical founder because technical founder, they might have their ideas. And I can tell you, before I partner with somebody who knows all the technology much better than me, really high level, at the end, they might just take your ideas and build their own because you are a burden. I don't want to say that you are a burden, but I just thought that time when I look back, why someone who is so good and partner with me if I only know marketing, right? So at the end, I start learning on myself, like everything. So you see, Prashasti is sharing the knowledge, right? And if we follow up, it's not that hard. So I do recommend, if you really want to build your own thing, maybe sit down and just do it and maybe share with people, right? Because right now we need a lot of people who share their knowledge. So you just learn and you probably share, and you will attract a lot of like-minded people. Instead of you post and beg people to join you just do whatever you feel right, and you feel like you are aligned, right? And you just do it, and people will gather together. So I wouldn't say that, oh, I want to post something, unless you are a billionaire, you have a lot of budget, your parents, or you have a lot of like a budget to hire people. Right now, if you want to start a tech startup, and and this is kind of a recession, I would highly recommend you build everything on your own and then post it. And maybe, people who feel like your passion and really love work with you, they will be attracted. That's my thought, but you might have your way.
Yeah, definitely. I was able to build the MVP on my own and I launched it. Right now I'm focused on getting early traction, which I have a few. But yeah, so you kind of mentioned that Unity plays a key role in developing for XR. So I was just wondering, what other languages would I have to know to be able to become great at extended reality developing?
If you're using Unity, then C# is key, because all of its scripts are written in C#. And yeah, I think for Unity, that is all you need. And rest is all setting the properties in its interface and things like that. But yeah, I think because this is web based, a lot of it is around HTML, CSS, and JavaScript mainly. But Unity will be C#.
And Unity, you would be able to develop like the HoloLens. That's what
Yes,
I'm trying to develop on. Okay, so Unity and
yes,
C#
yes,
would develop that alone.
yes, they will, because Unity have a
Nice.
lot of built-in or maybe like plugins and those sort of things which supports different headsets or glasses. So
How
they have all of
difficult?
that support. Yeah,
Nice. Thank you.
yeah. For
How
web, yeah.
difficult? I apologize.
Uh, no, no. How difficult? It depends. Like, do you know a particular language very well? Then it depends how you can move into it. As long as you know at least one programming language well, then it's quite easy to move to something else because you know sort of the basics. And then mainly you need to learn the syntax, which is sort of a barrier, but then you can learn as you build.
By the way, if you want to build HoloLens, we are going to have a HoloLens expert, Vahe. He will be speaking recently, upcoming. I think I remember like December, early December. So just keep follow our XReality LinkedIn, and we will have like a LinkedIn Live event. And also, he is very interested in teaching MRTK, which is the kind of like the way to for HoloLens development. And I told him that right now it's a little hard for HoloLens because right now, Microsoft has already stopped the support of HoloLens 2, and also you see Quest 3 and also Vision Pro will launch pretty soon. So he wants to teach HoloLens. But I told him that, yeah, let's see if there's any market there. So which means any student want to learn. And today I hear you want to learn HoloLens. Yeah, so make sure show up, and later on we will possibly help kind of host his workshop. Yeah, so yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, I will share like our LinkedIn page. So our newest event will be here. So make sure you sign up and join. Bye. Yeah.
Awesome. So if I was to learn, for example, Python, since that's like the easiest one, how would it be like extremely easy to learn Udemy and C#?
I suppose
How different would it be?
I'm not well versed in Python, but I wouldn't say it would be very different. It should be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think your question is more like where can you get in, right? I would highly
Yes.
recommend go to Unity website. They have a really nice, high quality education. It's called Unity Learn. Just follow the instructions because right now language it doesn't matter because all the languages somehow they can achieve some different things. It's just different way of express. So if you wanna learn that, I highly recommend you, because I know there are a lot of like courses online, some pay, some unpaid, some super expensive. But if you wanna generally understand what's going on, go here, just testing things out. And there's like a lot of really nice Unity. Let's see, Unity Learn. Yeah, Unity Learn. You go to Unity. I don't know why they put a lot of like unnecessary things. You just go to Unity Learn. Okay, this one. Yeah. And yeah, there are
I'll
a lot
find it.
of
Thank you.
yeah, there are a lot of like tutorials. You follow it, And I think C# is the kind of the best. Yeah, but I mean, Prashasti teaches HTML, CSS. If you have a web development background, it's very easy to transfer.
That's awesome.
Cool. Let's continue and maybe we can circle back to more questions. Okay. Now I want to get into something a bit advanced. So for example, you see that these properties called position, rotation, material, they all are provided by AFrame. Let me quickly go here. Okay. So we see that this is like an HTML attribute name and we give its value. But what if we want to give a custom property to it and then we want to define it in another way? For example, if you have like a cube or a sphere something or any particular model that you are showing, and suppose you want to give it a physics property and you want to say mention what kind of mass it has or what kind of gravity you're working with. So that is not something that, for example, AFrame provides in its own. Suppose that is something we want to create by ourselves. Then we'll create a component, like a custom component called physics, and then we can add more options to it. So we will not create a physics component right now. We'll start with something simple. Suppose I want to just click on this cube and maybe rotate it or change its size or something. So let's try to create a custom component. I'm going to call it custom events. You can call it anything. And since we are creating something new, we have to define it, and we will define it in JavaScript. So for that, we will go back to our head section. We will add a new script and we will give it a source of another file that we will add right now in the in our main directory. So suppose my script's name is main.js. So I go here, I create this new file called main.js, and I'll start making some changes over here. So what we do is, since we are creating a new component, we use AFrame. This is a variable that AFrame provides globally. So we say AFrame dot, and we say register component. If you have used JavaScript or anything before, this would be fairly easy to understand, but I will still try to go in detail. So it says register component, and within brackets, we will name the component that we are just going to create. So I think I called it custom events. So I'll say custom events, and then I will sort of define more things for this component. So first of all, what we need for this is we need to define its schema. And by schema, what I mean is that, for example, this material component that you see. So you see that within material, they have a source. They also have more things like, I think they have shader or things like that. So basically, these are different things that are mentioned within the schema. So for custom events, what I want to do is that suppose I want to I don't know, like set a color to a different color to this cube when it is clicked or hovered or something like that. So let me say what its click color is, and let me define that. So we will say that it is of type color, and say its default value is green. Let me go back and change and remove this material for now because I want to minimize any complexity as of now. Suppose we are going back to set it to a simple red color. Okay. So I've defined a schema saying that there is a property called click color. Click color. It is of type color. Your properties can be like a number, string, anything. And if it is not provided, then by default it is green. So since over here, while setting custom events, since nothing was mentioned, by default, the value of click color would be green. Yeah. But if I want to set another color, what I will do is I will within quotes, I will write click color, colon, and maybe, I don't know, I can give it a blue. Okay. So for example, if you were to set this particular component on different entities, then for someone you can say that, okay, on clicking this component should go to blue color. Maybe this one should go to a black color. So you can, keep on changing it. Okay, now let's actually add the functionality of it. So within registering the components, they have multiple functions related to it. One of them is called init, and this is run when this particular component is actually initialized into the scene. And then once this is initialized into the scene, we get something. This is a context which is used a lot in JavaScript. We need not go into that detail right now, but this.el actually returns you this particular component altogether. So that is what we need, because we are going to change the color of this particular box. So we need this. Along with that, we need some data, and the data comes from this.data. What data would return is everything that you have mentioned within the schema, or written while setting this component over here. So we need this particular box. We need all the data that is set so that we can get the click color from it. Okay. Let's try and do something. Let's try to log it. Okay. So let's say data equal to, this is how you log in JavaScript, and we are going to log EL and the data for this. Do this, and I think they have a soul here. Yeah, this is the best one. Let's go on a new screen. You can right click and inspect. And then you can go to console. Okay, so you see that data is now printed because this was initialized. We get data. EL is this box. As you see, this is the same as what we defined there, a dash box with a position, with color and everything. And we have a data object which has a click color called blue, because that is exactly what we have set over here, right? If we had not set this over here, and if I refresh this, then we would get the click color as green, because green is what we set as the default value here. Okay, so it's always good to set a default value in case you don't get something from the definition itself. Okay, so now we are going to add an event to this. If you know JavaScript, this would be quite straightforward. What we do is that on this EL, on this box, we add an event listener. We add an event listener, which is a click listener. And then we open a function, which basically means that you're registering an event on this particular box. And every time it is clicked, this particular function will be called, right? Let's leave a log here. Let's call it click event. And then what we want to do is we want to change its color. So we will say that EL dot, and we're going to change this particular property. So we'll say set attribute color, and we want to set it not to some specific like a default color for all. We will set it to the color that we get from data. Not color, we say it is the click color. And it depends how you formed your schema. But what we try to do here is that every time this particular, every time this is clicked, we are going to set the attribute of this particular box as the click color. Okay. Although we haven't set something after it is clicked, so it is going to remain that color. Okay. So if you see, and if you try it anywhere, it is not going to work. It will only show the data, but the click will not work. Like you can drag the screen and everything, but this will not actually work. And the reason for that is that when AFrame is actually built, it is obviously built for VR, and VR has a gaze-based cursor to it, right? Of course, we have to add that as well. So what we want to do is that we want to add a cursor onto this. It's not a 2D website, right? They are working with 3D over here. It's not a normal website where they take into account our cursor of the mouse by default. So what we do is that on this theme that we have mentioned, we will tell it to receive input from our mouse. So we will say that on a scene, we will say cursor equal to, and we say ray origin mouse, which means that it says that wherever the mouse is, that is where your ray is originating. If you're familiar with VR or VR development, you know that wherever your gaze is, that is where your clicks would happen, right? Okay, so we have the cursor here. I've saved it. Let me refresh. And so now, in case you missed it, so once I clicked it, it turned to green. It would also have a log over here as expected. Yes, we get the click event log and it is changed to green. We will get the log every time. The color won't change because we haven't moved back from green to red at any point. But as you see in the log, it does register every time. So we can obviously have like a click event, we can have a hover event, anything. So we can work with animations in this way. We can click something and we can, like start a game in that way. Or there are so many things to do. This is sort of the basics of how you can take inputs from the user to actually progress your particular application. Okay. I think I mostly wanted to cover this. Do we have any doubts with the event as of now? Because we might have to wrap up.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, now it's
Yeah, thank you.
3 o'clock. And any
Yeah.
last kind of like, thank you, Prashasti, for teaching. And this is like a wow, amazing event. And Prashasti, I mean, right now, so far, Prashasti will, help us creating a workshop. And in the future, Prashasti will create more project-based workshop, which will be a short kind of like a workshop, which we are still kind of working on. And hopefully before Prashasti went back to Indian, take a vacation, then we can have a kind of more dedicated workshop. And by the way, we have like a membership. If you are interested in kind of like getting the source code, or you want to get more learning materials, for example, access to the previous workshop, get the materials, and also ask Prashasti more questions, feel free to join our membership. I've already posted, a lot of people posted, so I posted again. Join our membership and get more support. Or Prashasti will pretty soon having a paid workshop. So stay tuned, and Prashasti will come up with a very interesting things. And if you are interested in learning more, or if you wanna, because right now we are working according to what our student needs. So if you have any idea you want to learn, or any, A-frame you want to learn, join our kind of like maybe go to Discord. I remember Discord that we have an office hour, right? So yeah, if you go to our XReality Pro community, go to the office hour, and you can get some questions, or give us some ideas what you want to learn. We were talking about like maybe some small interactive course and Prashasti will be teaching. And yeah, so stay tuned and give us some feedback or share, you know, our LinkedIn Live or to your group so more people can join. And right now we are open for everybody, but in the future we will kind of limit it to our members. So if you are very into it and you want to kind of learn more from Prashasti and give us more feedback, and possibly we will create something that meets your need. So yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Prashasti, and hopefully see you guys all next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye guys. Thank you.